So there were 44 locally acquired cases of COVID in the 24 hours to 8 p.m. last night. 35 of these are linked to known case or cluster, and 10 are close contacts and 25 are household contacts. Now, this fact re-emphasises that it is your closest friends and relatives who you will put at risk if you visit them. And also this level of household transmission highlights the fact that we need you to get tested. So if you've got the most minimal of symptoms, please get tested so we can detect it early and prevent as much as possible further transmission within those household settings. We've had one new case that was acquired overseas. I just want to also echo the Premier's comments. I know that this has been, it's been a long journey in the fight against COVID, but we cannot stumble over this hurdle. This is incredibly challenging times, and I just want to stress that I am incredibly concerned. I need all members of the community to follow the public health advice. And at the times when we had the lockdown in March, people were seeing images from overseas which sort of reinforced the fear and concern about COVID. And now people are looking at countries overseas where they're seeing people go about their work and pleasure in a sort of semi-normal way. And I think that is really important to highlight. That's because those countries have got vaccination coverages for their adult population, and in some cases down in the childhood population, that is very different from our situation. We have only got 9% vaccination coverage. We cannot let this virus take further foothold and lead to an exponential rise in cases. It will have significant impacts in terms of health and well-being of our community. I would also just like to emphasise that we have currently got 43 people in hospital due to COVID, 10 people in ICU, 4 of whom are ventilated, and we urge the community to follow the stay-at-home rules and the public health advice to protect themselves. 14 people, sorry, I've just got something in my eye and I shouldn't be using my mask for that, but sorry, if I could just get a tissue, and apologies for that. That there are 14 people that are admitted to hospital at the moment with COVID. Thank you. Sorry, apologies everyone. Sorry, something was in my eye then, apologies. We've got 14 people admitted to hospital at the moment with COVID under the age of 55, and of those, 7 are under the age of 35. Now, I'm just going to read this next piece very slowly. Of the 10 people in ICU, 1 is in their 20s, 1 is in their 30s, 1 is in their 50s, and 5 are in their 60s, and 2 are in their 70s. This trend has to be turned around, and the only way we can do so is by seeing a decline in numbers. COVID cannot affect people if you do not come in contact with them. And therefore, that is the basis of the stay-at-home order. Stay with your household, get tested. As soon as you have the most minimal of symptoms, get tested. So I'm going to read out the suburbs of concern across Sydney. And the reason I'm reading out these cases, and this reflects intelligence overnight about where we're seeing emerging cases. Some of these cases may not have been announced, but we're trying to update the community in real time about the areas that we've seen cases emerge, where we don't have a clear link, that they're not a household contact, and even before those investigations of those linkages are done, so the community has the most up-to-date information. So people in Sydney's southeast, Sutherland, Kareela, Sylvania, Hurstville and Maroubra need to stay particularly vigilant and continue coming forward for testing and share important health messages and follow the health advice. And the other suburbs where we're seeing a number of cases is in the Bosley Park, Smithfield, Fairfield, Glenfield, West Hoxton, Bass Hill, Greenacre, St John's Park, Bonnyrigg Heights, Panania, Bankstown, Canley Vale, Carramar, Casula, Chester Hill, Adenza Park, Edmondson Park, Greenfield Park, Moorebank, Narellan Vale and St John's Park. In relation to our media release today, we've highlighted where of the 44 locally acquired cases reported to last night, 21 are from southwestern Sydney, 8 are from southeastern Sydney and 7 from Western Sydney. So my calling out the suburbs really reflects the intelligence on where we've had cases that are infectious in the community. But that doesn't mean that if you've been anywhere else that you can be complacent. Every time you leave your home, you need to assume that you're coming into contact with someone who could potentially have COVID. So even when you're out and about, make sure your masks are covering your nose and mouth, that you're using your hand sanitizer, you're keeping the distance and checking in with the QR codes. I'd also like to just give you an illustrative example of why we really need people to stop moving about. So at the moment, we have over 14,000 close contacts. Now, yesterday it was 7,000. Now, the reason is that we've had a number of large venues, and I would, in terms of people being out and about, and obviously there are needs that people have for essential groceries. People might need to get bedding, heaters, blankets, a broken fridge. These are things that are essential. But what I'm asking you to do is every time you have set foot out of the house, make sure you ask you these following questions. Can you do it online? Can you do click and collect? And if so, or if you need to go to the store to collect the item and it is essential, can you make sure that you stay there for the most minimum period? In the orders, and even the previous order that will be the order coming into effect and the previous order, browsing was not permitted under the order. So we do not want you to go out of the house, and you're very clear for the purpose and intent of why you're going out of the house. And in relation to those venues of concerns, one new case is linked to IKEA at Tempe on the 6th of July. So anyone who attended IKEA Tempe on the 6th of July from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. is a close contact and must immediately get tested and isolate for 14 days, regardless of the result, and call 1800 943 553 unless they've already been contacted by New South Wales Health. Anyone who's also been at these and other venues are also a close contact and must immediately get tested and isolate for 14 days. Sadaquat Supermarket in Marylands, the Post Office at Marylands, these are on the 5th of July, and in relation to the supermarket, it's from 1:30 to 2 p.m, and in relation to the Post Office, it's 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Aldi at Marylands, on Monday the 5th of July from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m, and Kmart Marylands from Monday the 5th of July from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m, and Auburn Fresh City Vegetables from Monday the 5th of July from 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m, and again the Saha, S-A-H-A Market in Auburn from the 5th of July from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m.